Hello and welcome to Aquarium Dilemmas. I'm your host, ScienceGal Aquatics, and this is my co-host,
Jesse, and welcome.
And welcome to the show.
Welcome to another exciting dilemma today.
Yes.
I've just got my fish tank set up, and now I'm going to go get some fish.
Yeah, there's more options available, I feel, that there ever was when it comes to where you can purchase fish. When I was a kid, we always had one little local pet shop, and that's where we went. And now there's so many different places and options, and you can purchase fish online and get species that you just can't get locally. So like some pros and cons of different ways to purchase fish, because there's a lot more ways than I thought that you could purchase fish.
Yeah. we can just start off by highlighting the ways. Well, like you said, there used to be just your local mom and pop kind of pet store that had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, she had a little bit of everything, but the one here locally that we had when I was a kid was a little cinder block, barely 2-room building, and she had a couple different things in there, but it was mainly fish. But I just remember it was so cute because it was so small, and it was made out as, it seemed like cinder blocks. And this was back in the 80s, so I just remember, and that was the thing me and my dad did. Like, we went to go pick out fish, and there's no rhyme or reason to what we bought. We just whatever tickled and looked cool, it was like that caught my attention. So I didn't have a method to picking out fish, but we had a really small selection. There was guppies. I remember there was a lot of tetra, some betas, some plecos, occasionally some gouramis and some angelfish, but it was small tanks in a small little building locally, and that's all I had.
Yeah, and now you still have your local fish stores that some of them bigger, smaller. Now traveling with you, I've seen big ones in Chicago.
Oh my goodness, yeah,
what awesome local fish stores. Local fish stores that import all kinds of different types of fish, and they do things right. On the pro side, they do things right. They quarantine. They do all kinds of good things right. And then you also got, now that we're talking about it, is you got your big box stores that are popping up everywhere. You got your Petcos, your PetSmarts.
Yeah, there's perks, I think, to each different thing, each different ways. I feel the chain stores really help bring in new hobbyists because it's so easy.
Yeah,
it's
readily available.
You might not get the best information, but I have gone to our local store, our chain store that's new. We just got it probably in the last
about 3 years.
3 years, so it's new. And I've gone in there and I've gotten some really good advice. They keep planted tanks and I've gotten some good advice, and I'm lucky, but at the same time, you don't necessarily always get the best advice because they might be inexperienced or they might not even keep fish. But those chain stores are helpful because it's so easy to just get everything you need, because we have a lot of animals, so I can get my dog food, my cat food, all kinds of different things there. So there's advantages to the chain stores, especially bringing in new people. But if I can go support my local fish store, hands down, I'm going to do that first. I'm going to go there first. That's where I'm going to shop first.
Well, and continuing through the options.
But they don't, I guess, adding on real quick, they don't necessarily here where we live have everything I need, but traveling around and going to those local pet stores that are bigger, they do have selection that's vast. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before. I would live here every day if I could travel here every day. So, and even in that, there's varied degrees of super helpful, clean. The tanks are immaculate. Everything is just the way it is. And then you can go into some that you walk in and it's just like, I don't know if anything in here is living. So, and I hate to say that, but occasionally you do run into one that's not as well cared for, and they don't have the quarantine practices as others.
Yes.
Some might have a wonderful 30-day quarantine and nothing on the floor is sick in a perfect world, but others, they might import them and just put them right on the floor. You don't know until you ask questions. And if you can build up a repertoire with the local
rapport.
Yeah, like just go in there and chit chat. I like to think I'm kind of friends with them because I like to go in there and talk and see what's coming and what's coming up. Do they have any plans? But I feel lucky to have that type of local fish store.
Going on, we'll stick to those two right now before we move on to the other options. We'll just do the pros and the cons of
well, you go first.
Local versus not. Well,
And this is just kind of winging it off of our head too. There's so many. I'm sure everybody has their own list, but
well, I think for the beginner and bringing in the new hobbyist, the big box store is the way to go. And you're going to be starting out with a hopefully more basic fish, and they're going to have all varieties of relatively easy beginner fish.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not the best place to go in every circumstance to go to, especially in a new hobbyist, because maybe I'm the type of personality that I kind of do well learning on my own. And okay, I need this, this, and this. But when I was a kid, I just bought whatever I was told to buy. So it depends on if you're someone that needs a lot of help and advice, and it's not good to listen to one person. But if you're going to buy fish today and you're set up today, or maybe they can give you the advice you need more at the local fish store.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it's so dependent, but I feel like a local chain store naturally does gravitate towards newer, gets a lot of people in the door. But I can't say that in every circumstance. There might be some really good, like we've traveled to the one like you were talking about in Chicago. I'm sure they get a lot of hobbyists, a lot of new people coming in there and asking questions too. So it just kind of depends. But I feel it is a kind of a perk to a chain store too, that it's a one-stop shop for your pet needs. So you can go in there and get a tank or some food along with something else. But I don't know if it's the best place to go to all the time.
I don't think it's the best place.
Setting up a tank.
I don't think it's the best place to obtain knowledge
Right.
about your fish or the fish you're wishing to keep. And I do prefer getting some of my knowledge from face-to-face interactions.
Yeah, and sometimes, like I said, some of the staff there are really knowledgeable. It just depends on the staff member.
And I also feel that when you go to the big box store, they just want to ask you the question of which one do you want, how many do you want, and that's it, pretty much.
Yeah. If they're really busy, but if they're not so busy, some are, yes. It's just some people's personality to talk and some are not. As I've gotten older, are more apt to just strike up a conversation with someone I don't know. But when I was a 20-something or a later teen keeping fish, I definitely wouldn't be like, let's have a 30-minute conversation. I was so shy.
Well, and your local fish store, in my opinion, for the most part, they will ask you, have you kept this fish before? What do you know about this fish?
Just more personable
just
experience.
As a general question, when you go, I really like these balloon mollies over here. I'd like to get some of those. That'll almost 90% of the time be their first question. Have you kept these before? Do you know anything about these? Do you already have a tank for them?
And sometimes I feel maybe because it's a little less foot traffic, they have more time to chit chat with you. It just depends on the store, because in my experience, in my head, when I think of local fish store, I always think of our local fish store. And it's busy sometimes, but it's still smaller. Even our newer local fish store is still on the small side. And I like it, especially when we're traveling to new fish stores or pet stores, and they're like, do you want to see them eat? And they'll tell you all about them, or if, something that catches your eye. And by the end of it, they're just so helpful. You might have had an idea of how to keep them, but they've just gave you a couple extra
pointers.
Be like, hey, you might try this feeding or this food, or to turn off your light at this time, or some random thing, try this, and it would just work better that you wouldn't normally get in the chain store atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's kind of your con of that, and the pros are definitely the speed of the big box store, the accessibility of them, that almost anybody can travel there to one that's relatively close to where they live.
And everything's usually in stock. There's very few times I've gone to my chain store that's like, oh, they don't have that, I have to wait. Whereas sometimes when I go to my local fish store, they don't have as much on hand, so you might have to wait a little bit longer for something when it comes to some food or a species or something. But the chain stores, when you go in, what they're going to have this type of guppy, this type of molly, this type of pluck. Occasionally they'll get something new that you're like, oh, I didn't know they kept that. That's cool. But with the local fish store, every time I go in there, it might not be the most exciting thing. It might be another type of guppy, but there's some variation, a little variation in there. Now, since we do have a little small store, there's not tons. That's why I like to travel now to different stores and like the Aquashellas and stuff like that, because I get exposed to way more. But I still think there's a variation of the things you see at a local fish store versus the chain store.
And I think the negative to the chain store is, yes, they do have a return policy on fish, but really most people aren't going to take advantage of it. It's not that easy of a policy.
We don't.
Whereas your
I don't know about
your local fish store, you go in there, you explain to them.
They'll probably be more apt to work with you, but I don't know what every single fish store's policy is over different things. I don't know. But I'm sure that they're a little bit more willing to work with you with something, especially like I have an overabundance of fry sometimes. I can go into my local fish store and trade out. Be like, yeah, you can have this food for these guppy fry, or where I can't get that at the chain store.
Yep.
And if something happens, you can go in there and they might have a lot more information on what's going on. Sometimes with certain like sicknesses, I don't have the best, it takes some time to work it out. But I'm more often to find my answer there than the box store. But every once in a while, like I said earlier, it's dependent on your staff. You might have that one jewel that just knows like they've kept fish for 20 years and they know. So it just really depends on the staff.
Well, in your big box stores, you will never know where they're shipped in from. They won't tell you, or they don't know. Mm-hmm. And you don't know how long they're quarantined, if at all.
Probably not.
With your local store, if it is locally bred and raised, they will usually tell you.
Yeah. I've got
so
it in there.
You will know that, okay, this fish is from a local breeder of someone. And so your chances of everything health-wise, everything go up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with the change, I haven't ever asked them, but from just the grapevine talking and listening to, I assume that they come in, they're unboxed, and they're put in their system, in their tanks, and everything's kind of exposed to each other. It might look like they're individual tanks, but I believe the water system's kind of open, and it's all sharing. Whereas some of your local fish stores, they have a quarantine practice, or at least they're in a tank only. They come in, and they're in that tank. And again, it's all dependent. I've seen some that have a pretty elaborate, fancy quarantine process. And then I've seen others, it's like, it's a species only tank. It's just for them, which works. They're not exposed to anything else. It works, but they're still on the floor. And they can be sold right. So it just depends. But I still always go to the local fish store first because I feel lucky. Even though we have a newer one, they do really. I find myself lucky.
Well,
but I still would love to have like one of those. I believe it was in Chicago, and I don't remember the name of it, but it was. You just walked in, you're like, "Wow, this is huge."
Yes, that was an amazing store. And then to go down the road, two more options for probably more the advanced fish keeper, or if you're just dead set, done your research, know everything about it, and you can't find it. Two more options: swaps or shows.
Auctions, yes.
Swap shows, auctions. I kind of group them all as one thing.
Yeah, me too.
And then online ordering. So, pros of both.
I feel like when I first learned, I was kind of late in the game, and I don't know why I didn't think of it, but when I found out that you could ship fish online, it blew my. It's still just talking about it. I was like, how do you do that? How does that work? I don't understand. And it took me forever to try it. And it's like dirted tanks. It's one of those things that it makes sense. I know you can do it, but it took me a long time to try it out. And then I was like, oh, why did I take so long? And ordering fish online was one of them. I don't know why. It is expensive in shipping because I usually, if I'm going to spend the money, I might as well get them as soon as possible. So shipping is usually expensive. It's usually like $50 for shipping. But you can know what you want to keep, know your parameters, know what you can, and pick out exactly your dream fish and get it shipped right to you in a matter of like maybe a week at the most. And you have an endless selection of whatever you want. That's just like, wow. Granted, sometimes they're not in stock. You have to wait. But the selection is just endless. There's all kinds of really good, reputable online stores that
ship fish, and they do a great job.
Yeah, and when they come in, it's just like, wow.
And if you're a respectable buyer buying fish from a respectable online store,
and I'm sure
they do have really good return, because yes, there can be a problem in the postal system. The weather and everything can affect that, and thus can affect the shipment and the quality of your fish.
Yeah, you need to read the fine print on the individual website. Some require, if it's a dead on arrival, pictures before you open the bag to prove it, which, I mean, is understandable. So if you are worried about something like that, you do need to read whatever site you're on. But they'll work with you. Usually just be polite and tell them what's going on. But I've never had a problem. The one time I did kind of have sort of a problem is I wouldn't go as far as saying they got lost in the mail, because they weren't lost, but they just took a little bit longer than they were supposed to. And even then they all arrived okay. One didn't have very much water. It was a pleco, but even that, it jumped right in the tank, was ready to go, was happy and healthy. And so you do need to do some research. If you don't know that website, like anything else, do some research as a buyer.
And you ordered from a quality online store that is very respected in their shipping and their method of shipping.
And there's a few out there that they're my favorites. I'm a little biased towards them, but they're, especially with shrimp too. I ordered some shrimp. I was like, this is just amazing. It's just an endless supply of like all these cool fish. You could just order them. The shipping is a drawback, and sometimes our weather does get a little colder. So I don't like to order fish in the winter time because
there's cold. A lot of respectable online stores that ship fish that do not ship during certain times of the year. Will not ship to a certain area, because the fish are going from super hot to super cold, or vice versa.
And that's a good thing, because if it's too cold, or on the opposite, too hot, then it's too hot. So the shipping is kind of a drawback, I'm not going to lie. But to get them here safe as I can and as quick as I can, I'm going to buy it because I want those fish. And sometimes, like you said, you do have to wait depending on winter or weather. But if you want those fish, those are your dream fish. You finally found them. Be like, look, I want these. Is there a best time to order them to get them here safer or something? They're willing to just send an email.
For those people out there listening, tuning in, name off some of the places that you online go to look at it, to look for online fish.
Well, I've ordered from Dan's. It was Get Gills. I've ordered from Flip Aquatics. I've ordered from. I don't think I've ordered. I take that back. But I've bought shrimp from Joe's Shrimp Shack. Aquatic Arts. We've had really good luck. There's just a few. There's a handful. I know not Get Gills, but Aquabid. I haven't ordered, but I've definitely snooped around. And there's all kinds of places available online. Just do your research if that's one that you don't personally haven't heard of. Just like a normal anything else, just do your research. But
yeah,
there's just so many. I guess
it's an individual, but like the Get Gills, the Aquatic Arts, Flip Aquatics, all those that you mentioned are all super outstanding.
And there's a lot more every time. I don't know everybody. I don't know every website out there. And I'm sure there's a few that I was like, I'll stumble upon in the future, be like, how did I not know about this? So, but if you have a particular fish in mind, and even better have the setup already, and you just can't find that fish, it's a really good option, and you'll probably have good luck. Just go online and see if it's available online, because you have all kinds of different options to choose from.
And now going to the shows and the swaps and the auctions, I'm going to start out with the negative on this one. The negative is you don't know what you're going to find.
Yeah, you spend too much money.
No, it is literally a crapshoot.
It's just
of what fish are going to be there. Mm-hmm. And you could stumble upon your dream fish.
And you're like, oh my goodness.
And that is like the coolest feeling in the world. Or you could be one of those people who's like, oh, I got to have this, got to have that, got to have that one, got to have that one. Because it's so overwhelming. It's some of these. If
you don't have really good impulse control, you might want to take someone and be like, here's my money.
And hold on to it.
I want you to hold on to this.
And don't give it to me.
And if I say I want this fish more than 5 times, then I have permission or something. Because it's the first time I went to, we're part of a club, and they have 2 big auctions every year. Like
go ahead and tell them the club.
A spring and winter auction. And that first time I walked in, it was just so overwhelming because it was just so many cool things. And I was a little shy at first, so I was kind of timid. I didn't really know. I've never been to an auction, so I didn't know. But now when we go, my hand's just permanently up. I'm like, I want everything. But it was a lot because I've never been to anything like that. It had plants and every type of fish. They had cichlids and live bears and plecos and shrimp and discus and just anything and everything. And then they had tanks, they have filters, they have aquarium books. It's just like you said, you just don't know what's going to be there when you show up.
Yep,
and
that's
so
the same way to
we
swap.
have a game plan. We're like, okay, we're looking for this, this, and this. And then we leave and we're like, well, that was not all.
The downside is if you go to a swap, an auction, or any sort of aquarium show like Aquashella, well, we're part of the massive group here in Missouri. So we go to those events, the swaps and the auctions. You need to go with an idea of what your tanks can handle and what you're looking for. And if that's not there, then you're not getting that.
Set up.
That
just
day.
Go ahead and set up a tank or 2 or 4. before you know the date's coming, just go ahead and set up. Because,
a month ahead of time, go ahead and set up 4 new tanks.
Yeah, go ahead and get that set up because like you said, we'll make a game plan. Yeah, okay, I'm going to come back and then you walk in and you just fall in love with everything and the game plan goes right out the window. But I feel like a good perk of those local swaps that you can't get anywhere else is most of the time the breeders are there. So if you're listening or chit-chatting, usually if you're like, oh, you like this fish? Oh, the one that bred that's right over there, you can go talk to him. And you can really find out, not all the time, obviously, I guess, but you can really find detailed information about those fish and the water that they came from and the diet. We've had hallway conversations about how to breed certain things that were really difficult to breed with people. And each time you go, it's not only a wide selection of fish every time and plants and just livestock in general, but it's a lot of the same faces with a lot of new faces too. So you can it's like a college course of fish keeping in the hallway with all these advanced breeders.
It's super networking, and you are still, in my opinion, you're helping local.
And everybody's so excited to talk fish.
You're helping your local breeder, and you're getting all the knowledge that you're not going to get from a box store as far as, okay, yeah, I did breed this fish. It came from this water parameters. This is how old it is.
It's not even comparable because it's like fish nerd extreme levels that everybody's there is just itching. And I was so shy at the beginning that I was kind of oblivious. But now that we've gone a handful of times, everybody there is so excited to talk about fish that you don't have to worry about being shy or timid. Just go up and talk about fish, and there's someone that's going to be more than happy to tell you everything plus some about that fish.
Whatever. There's plant people in there too. Don't you leave them plant people out.
But you can get so many helpful tidbits and things that I was completely unaware that there was a whole fish club, much less fish auctions and swaps and Thursday night meetings that you can go to that you can absorb information. I don't even keep a lot of cichlids, but I wanted to go to the cichlid show and just talk about cichlids for 2 days because why not? And then I think they had 2 auctions there and you can get these really rare fish. Some of them are really expensive, but some of them are a steal of a deal, especially if you have the time to stay towards the end of the show. You can get aquarium plants that you can't even find locally for a steal of a price.
Cheaper than you get them in a box store, and you'll never see it in a box store.
Yeah, each auction and that type of show is different.
Yes.
It might be set up the same, but each one's different. But it's exciting to be like, to hold up your number and be like, I won this fish, yeah. Bring like a styrofoam cooler or something because you'll get a stack of fish rolling pretty good. You need some kind of something to put them in.
Well, going with the plant thing, since I am the one that's into the plants, that's what I like about the swaps, the auctions, the events.
That really got us into the plants.
You can stumble upon a plant you have never seen before, know absolutely nothing about, and there is someone there that can tell you everything about that plant, and if you can actually house that plant, home that plant, and it's going to be healthy and be beneficial to your tank or your fish.
Yeah, I think one of the drawbacks is you spend too much money, your game plan, your list will go out the window. And that might be about it. Yeah. Getting outbid by something definitely hurts when you've been eyeballing it all day. So that would be a drawback is you can't just because you go and you see that fish and you're like, oh, I'm going to bid $100 and I'm not going to lose it. You might lose it. You might not be able to go with go get that fish you want, just an off chance someone does outbid you. So that is kind of a negative.
The negative is, at the auctions you could lose on price. Mm-hmm. At the swaps, you never know, and it's the same with all of those. You never know what's going to be there, so that's kind of a downfall. If you're looking for something really in particular, and you can't find it anywhere else, then obviously the online stores, someone out there at some point is going to have them and willing to ship them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can usually get a much better deal going to the swaps. I feel like you can get a really good deal. And going to like the Aquashella shows and stuff like too, we've picked up fish or shrimp mainly, I would say, and plants at the Aquashella shows, some of the shows, the conventions. That's always a good option too if you know that you wanted to go to one this year and you wanted to shop around and wait till you got it at the show. That's always another way. It's more expensive, but it's totally worth it.
Well, and you're going to have a plethora of shrimp. If you're just looking for shrimp, there's liable to be 6 different booths that are nothing but shrimp.
Yeah, but this is same with, there's a lot of freshwater. It just depends on the show you go to. We're going to Aquaticon at the end of, it's April. It's the end of this April. And it's in Tennessee, and that's going to be an exciting show. It's the first show, so I'm not really sure what all they're going to have, but I'm excited to find out and bring something home. But
again, time to make a list.
We'll make one and it'll go out the window. Well, what's a negative part of do you even have one besides just sometimes the bid? I was like,
No, it's just the lack of your lack of knowledge of not knowing what's going to be there.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to plan.
Yeah, so you're almost,
you make this magical list and then you just
if you go and you're on a time crunch, this is not the thing for you to do.
No, it's
because
that
there may not be anything there. If you are strictly list oriented and you are looking for a very specific item, if you go in there, don't see it, then you should probably just leave.
Yeah, maybe it depends on. It's definitely one.
So that's where the online store is. You can get on there, look real quick, see who has it, research the seller. If you like it, then you can just go ahead and get it. It's the same with the box store. They may not have it if you're looking for something specific. So there's the downside to that. Local fish store may not have it. Upside to them may not having it. They might be able to get it for you.
Yeah.
You can talk to them. They can see if they can order it in for you. And a lot of them will. Yeah. They'll order it in specifically just for you.
Yeah, it's always an option. I just feel like there's definitely more ways to purchase fish than there ever has been.
So there's a lot of ups and downs, pros and cons to all 4 of these that we're talking about.
And it's all kind of just dependent on some people. I prefer to order online now because I'm kind of used to it when it comes to just everyday things. Like I don't go clothes shopping. I just order them online. So I'm glad but I can't tell you how much that did. I can't describe how much that just blew my mind when I don't know how I stumbled upon it. It was probably just listening to a conversation. It wasn't something I ever thought about was how do they get fish in a mailbox? Like what? But I highly recommend it. If you haven't ordered fish before, give it a shot. I like the process. It's a little bit expensive on shipping, but it's worth it to get your fish there on time.
Agreed. Well, in conclusion, what are you thinking as far as overall scheme? For me, the new hobbyist, I say go to your local fish store, get a bunch of information, and then also go to your big box store and see what they have as well.
Yeah, I always suggest shopping local, especially just if you have a really well-kept fish store that's local. I probably wouldn't go to the box store too often because I just wouldn't need to. Every once in a while, we do go just to pick up a few random things. It's usually for sponges or the media inside the filters that I keep. And a couple we do buy fish from there too. But I always recommend going to your local fish store first, just supporting them, shopping local. But if they don't have it and they can't get it for you easily, then and you need it immediately, like it's a food, something you need right now, then yeah, go pick it up. It's easy, go get it and then go home and use it. But if it's something that you are been wanting for a while and you can't find it and it's your tank's been set up for a while, then ordering fish online, like give it a shot. It's it blew my mind. It's completely possible and they come in just fine. So, yeah.
Well, and I feel your local fish store too, if you go to it and talk to them and you're still relatively new in the hobby and you're looking for something specific and they can't get it, they can also point you in that direction of here's a local club or here's a local swap coming up. It's going to have a lot of local breeders. They might know someone that does have those fish.
Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to different ones. And it just depends on your need right then. It really does. Like if it's a medication or something and you need it right then go get it. But if you have some time to wait and plan it out, then hit up an auction. Look it up, see if you have a local club or something that's hosting an event, or you have an event coming up soon and it's just a handful of miles away, then go check that out and get maybe introduced to something that you haven't even seen before.
Yeah. You might want to go in one direction and find something that works out better for you.
Yeah.
Especially after talking to somebody. Yeah. You'll get some new information, new insight on a fish, and you're like, oh, that would work so much better in this tank I have set up than what I originally thought.
Yeah. It's just nice to have more options available because I get the opportunity to keep different fish that I didn't have available when I was younger. My world was guppies and snails and plecos, and my dad had the community tank that had a little bit of everything in it, but it was like a gourami and a couple of angelfish, and I enjoyed keeping them. There's still some, like, guppies will always be my favorite, but it's nice that we can get fish in different ways. Yeah. And I can have access to fish that I just absolutely fall in love with because they're so beautiful that I can keep easily, that I never even knew about because we have the option to go to the swaps or order online or something like that. Yeah. That wasn't available, that I just didn't even know about. So, but thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the show. I really appreciate it. If you want to watch the show, make sure you check out the ScienceGal Aquatics on YouTube under the memberships. But thank you so much for listening to the show. I hope you picked up something new or learned something you never thought about. Bye.